Well, it is a couple of stocks which are managing to see some amount of traction on the upside. So besides Cipla, which is up 2.5%, it's Wipro, which is not doing too badly. So up around 2% for Wipro. Infosys also joining the party, so up around 1.6% currently for Infosys at this point in time as well. We've been pointing out that it is a lot about the financial stocks. So selective financials seem to be doing well today. So Kotak Mahindra Bank is in the green. That stock is higher. Bajaj Finance, Bajaj Finserv from the financial space. Both those stocks are up anywhere between 1 to 1.5%. And HDFC is also showing some traction on the upside. So up around 0.5% currently for HDFC. But let's go across to Ashmit now. He's been tracking all of the developments in the court with regards to the Singh brothers, and he joins in for an update and to share all of the proceedings there. Ashmit, go ahead.
Well, what fell today, the big takeaway from today's proceedings is the loudest and the clearest warning that has fallen from none other than CJI himself, presiding over the bench of the Apex Court, that the Singh brothers could potentially be facing jail time. With that, the Apex Court has launched contempt proceedings against them and will be now testing whether or not they have violated court orders. Now, let's keep in mind that all of this goes back to the Daiichi case, where there was an arbitral award of 3,500 crore rupees. That award, although has been reinforced by the Singapore Appellate Tribunal as well, there has been no forward movement in terms of payment coming from Singh brothers, and that is what the case that was being tested here before the Apex Court. Now, here, interestingly, both Malvinder and Shivinder Singh were present in court. Both of them, in fact, addressed the court directly, wherein Malvinder Singh interestingly remarked that the reason for non-payment has essentially been that the assets of the company have been seized and been taken over by a religious Baba, and that the recovery of funds from the Baba is proving to be extremely difficult, and that the Apex Court would need to help in that area. Now, that is one remark which did not inspire the slightest bit of confidence from the Apex Court. The Apex Court clearly remarked that if those assets have been taken over, those are their problems. The Apex Court will not be solving their problems and is only looking to satisfy the dues payable to Daiichi. And with that, the Apex Court, not mincing words and putting it out in as many words, that they will be launching, they have launched contempt proceedings, and that they will be, if they are found guilty, Singh brothers could be headed for a jail term. Again, some very, very sharp comments coming in. This is the clearest warning that has fallen from the Apex Court. Now what we have to look forward to is the Thursday hearing, which is on April 11th, and that is when the contempt proceedings will begin, and it will be tested whether or not the Singh brothers have violated Supreme Court orders, and if at all there is any plan in the works for payment of that amount of money. Also, as a side note, important to mention here is that Daiichi expressed apprehension that the companies of the Singh brothers, RSC Holding to be specific, is in fact facing insolvency proceedings, and that appears to be a malified design to subject all of the assets of the Singh brothers under the IBC with respect to those insolvency proceedings. So the Apex Court has also stayed the NCLT proceedings. That's on the side note. But of course, the big figure to watch for will be next week on April 11th, when the Singh brothers face contempt proceedings at the hands of the Apex Court.
Okay, all right, Ashwin. Thanks very much for joining in with that update. So important developments coming in where the contempt proceedings are going to begin next Thursday, April 11th, when it comes to the Singh brothers. So that will be an important development and series of developments to track. But let's get talking about the commodity space now. We have Manisha Gupta joining in to tell us what she's tracking. Manisha, over to you.
Thank you so much for that, Ekta. Well, I'm really looking at the precious metal prices right now because this is festival season. It is Gudi Padwa tomorrow, which the Maharashtra as a state would be celebrating. And then we have Akshaya Tritiya as well happening in the month of April itself. And this is a time that India actually goes out and buys physical gold, whether or not it's for investment, but definitely for cultural reasons then. And we have seen the gold prices actually gain up by 3%. If you look at the last 1 year, the underperformance really has come in from silver, where we have seen prices decline by 4% in the same time. Well, the positives, of course, are that the US Fed is not going to increase interest rates. There have been dovish statements from there. But on the other side, you also have seen a very strong performance continue from the global equity markets, and that is where most of the funds really seem to be going in for. So gold price is really trading at a pivot point at this point, with most people believing that 1250 on the lower side could be a support, but on the higher side, there are chances that we might see $1,400 per ounce as well come in for gold. Let's delve deeper into that, and let's go across to Chirag Sheth of Metal Focus, who joins us on a phone line for further on that. Chirag, hi, welcome. Good to have you on the show. You've recently come out with a report for the global markets, for the Indian market specifically as well. What is your sense? Do you see the physical demand pick up, come back in India?
Thank you, Manisha. Yes, I think our forecast for 2019 for both jewelry, as well as investment, is sort of an improvement in demand, into India. I think what is interesting is that over the last couple of months, gold prices in Indian rupee terms have obviously come down. So that is also likely to support, demand in the Indian market. And as you pointed out in the introduction, that we are getting into the festive season, Gudi Padwa, Akshay Tritiya. So, given the fact that gold prices have come down in February and, in March, I think will eventually help, gold demand in India as well. But over the long term, we are bullish on jewelry demand in India.
Chirag, any numbers that you're working with? What kind of demand expectations do you have in India for this year? And what are the price views that Metal Focus is putting out for the near term?
So, last year in terms of jewelry, India consumed about 600 tons, of gold. And, for 2019, we are actually forecasting a marginal, jump in demand. And, we expect that, the 600 tons, jewelry consumption would increase to about 625 tons in 2019.
Okay. And also, what is your price sense? I mean, most of the banks and brokerages seem to be very bullish.
Yeah, as you know, Manisha, we've been bullish for quite some time now. We believe that gold has actually got into a mini bull run of sorts, which could last for another 2 to 3 years' time. However, the material price rally would only start post, July, August, when a lot of data points, there is more clarity on the data points, more clarity on, a lot of other things, macroeconomic things. However, if you look at our price forecast, our immediate price forecast for 2019 is $1,400. However, we do believe that over the next 2 years' time, we could see, levels above $1,600 for gold.
Chirag, one very quick question. I mean, the major support areas, of course, are global central buying and dovish global central banks, etc. But on the other side, with the kind of monies that we see flowing in case of equities, would you say that the gold really will have to fight it out for its share?
Absolutely. I think, Manisha, the big driver, yes, look, the physical markets or the central banks can provide a floor, as you are aware, but it is the professional investors who tend to drive, gold prices. So our case is a correction for the Western market equities, especially the U.S. equities, with the U.S. economy not doing so well. And I think then the money will eventually flow into gold. So that's why I said, we believe that price rally will only start materializing probably in July and August, when a lot of data points are clear and, the money will move out of one asset to a safe asset.
Okay, all right, Chirag, as well as Manisha, thanks very much for joining in, bringing us all of those strategies in the commodity space. Just want to point out a couple of stocks. DHFL seems to be having a very good day in terms of traction. So that stock is up around 7.5%. DHFL should come up for you. Vodafone Idea also not doing too badly. So that stock is up around 7.5% currently for Vodafone Idea. Overall, for the Nifty, just about 20 points higher. And we have the Bank Nifty, which is completely flattened out.